This is the Freewing 70mm EDF. I've gone for this setup. I've got my FS-IA-10B with the FS-I6X, my favourite receiver and remote combo. I've got a 4000 mAh 6S Z power battery in there, which is plugged in, and yeah, this is it. It's absolutely sick. The sequencing doors on the landing gear are really cool. That is awesome. We've got absolute barn doors for flaps, which I've put those down quite a bit, so they're not going to be that far down, but that is still a lot of deflection. So this thing's going to slow down great. This is even more able to slow down because it has reverse thrust. So when I flick this switch, the ESC reverses and it pushes air towards us rather than away from us. Which is absolutely sick. The details on this are amazing. I love this, and I like the pilot as well. He's very cool. The whole thing just looks absolutely sick. It's a shame they didn't go for the gold canopy. I think that would have been just a really nice touch, but everything else is lovely. My one big complaint though, this is before flying it. Maybe after flying it I'll say there's like 1,000 different things wrong with it, but I doubt that. My one big complaint is plugging these in is just, it goes against everything my RC brain feels. Basically, if you've ever plugged in a plane before, you'll know that the yellow wire is always on top, which makes sense. And in this one, they've got this weird system where it runs through this box and then comes out, and then you plug that into here, which I'm fine with. But basically, because of that, these don't require a power output from this. They only require a signal output, which is also fine, except that they've plugged the signal output into the top, into what would normally be the bottom. So if I unplug this quickly, I can show you. So this is how it looks. Normally, I'd plug it in like this, where I know that the side where you can see the connectors is facing towards me or is facing towards channel 10. In this case, it's the other way around. It's actually going to go in like that because the signal wire is on top. And I know that sounds pretty trivial, pretty not important, but for me as a builder, it's just confusing. It's just a bit weird. I don't know why they did that. But you know what? It's fine. I'm okay with it because everything else in this aircraft is absolutely sick. The control surfaces are humongous. There's plenty of travel. This is at 100% travel. I'm sure you could get more out of it, but I don't really want to because I think it's just a bit scary. The taxiing is great. I'll put a video of it taxiing as I'm speaking right now. And honestly, I can't wait to get out and fly. So let's do that. Okay, control shack. Right, left, right, up, down. Ready. Flaps. Go for it. Okay. Yes!
Well done.
I told you.
Well done.
I got it, switchy.
What does that mean?
Flaps up. Gear's already up. Needs elevator trim. That is sick. You zoomed in?
I'll zoom in there. Can't see that. Well, it's quite far.
I'll come past. I'll come a bit closer.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is cool. Loop. Handles the loop, no problem. I'm gonna go for a full speed pass. This thing's mental. Okay, it's quite fast. With the stock CG, center of gravity, it definitely needs some elevated up trim. But I mean, that flies really well. Like, it doesn't feel too bad. It was twitchy at first, but now I think I've got it. Roll. Roll. I'm gonna try Cobra, see if it can do that. It definitely can. Cobra's lovely. And the gear down, good. Low pass.
Okay, so I'm not going to show you guys the landing for this because the landing was in a tree. But as you can see, it flies pretty damn well. It was really stable the whole time. Obviously, it could have been more stable if I put a gyro in it, and there's certainly space for it in the cabin, or whatever you'd call that, canopy? Below the canopy. So yeah, great flying airplane. It didn't tip stall that much, actually, even when I got slow with it. Like, if I was coming out of a loop, it's not trying to do wibbles on the wings. It's actually keeping flat, keeping its trajectory, which is nice. That could also be that I had it on the stock CG, which is always more nose heavy than I normally fly my other planes, more neutral. But yeah, great flying airplane. Loved the retracts. I didn't get to test the landing gear because, as I said, the landing was in a tree. But they looked solid. As you saw in the start, the takeoff needs quite a bit of space. You need to get a good amount of speed built up. So if you don't have a very big runway, you may want to consider making it bigger or not getting this plane, or just maxing out your elevator controls, because if I had more elevator throw, I reckon I could have taken off in less space, because this thing does have a really good thrust to weight ratio. Like, as you can see, loops were easy with it, everything else was easy with it. I'm not lacking power. And one other thing that helped is keeping your flaps up as you're taking off, and then you only put them down at the end, because that means you get lots of speed and then you suddenly get lots of lift, but you're able to build up that speed faster. That was the reason I'm able to take off in the third clip. In terms of everything else, though, really great. I don't like that the spare parts are all sold out on Motion RC, but it's just launched on there, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah, would I recommend this jet to someone else? Definitely. Is it a great first plane? Absolutely not. I don't think I needed to say that, but you know, better safe than sorry. Great jet, great one, Freewing. This is my first non-scratch built 6S jet, and it didn't feel really intimidating. Like, I've had the 4S Marlin for ages, and I've gotten really comfortable in that, and going from that to this didn't feel like a terribly difficult step up, because, as I said, that big lifting body means you get a lot of stability. And you saw in the Cobra as well, when I went out of that Cobra, it's not going into a spin, it's continuing straight on, which is great. So yeah, great flying airplane, great job, Freewing. Definitely would recommend this. The only thing I'd recommend more than buying this is subscribing. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Goodbye.